All right, guys, so today I wanted to kind of go over how I would sketch out the warm-up drawing that we're starting today. Today's warm-up drawing is actually like super easy. It's one character that has some simple shapes to him, no background. So for this one, you do have 3 days, and hopefully that you can get a nice finished picture once you get done with this. So I kind of want to reiterate how you always want to start out with like simple shapes. You know, I always say when I use my sketch, it's a bunch of circles and ovals and lines and squares, just the most simple shapes that I can see on the board, you know, breaking it up into that. And then a little at a time, you kind of tighten that up into the shapes that you see on the board. So for today's picture, I think the best orientation for your paper is going to be in the landscape orientation this way, because it is a little bit longer this way. And this is what my sketch would look like. So starting off, I'm looking at the board, and I kind of see a big old oval. I mean, it's a big oval to start off this picture. The next thing I see is kind of a shape that looks like this, which I guess would be considered the body. I have a leg, and then this shape, you know, goes all the way down and then goes into the other leg. There's a shoe here, there's a shoe here, there's an arm, and there's an arm. And there also is a speech bubble, which I'm gonna draw also, so I'm just gonna kind of, just so I know that it's gonna fit on my page, I'll draw that in. So that is actually my sketch, my beginning sketch for this picture. So what's next? So next, I'm gonna try to tighten it up. I mean, this is like very simple. I'm gonna try to make these shapes, you know, tighten them up a little bit. And that's what I mean by this. And all of this I'm still doing in pencil. I'm changing color so you can see on the board, but all this you would still do in pencil. So the actual shape of this head, it's actually more, I would say like a lemon, like a football. That would be more of the shape of this character's head, right? The next thing, I'm gonna maybe try to clean this up a little bit and show, and I'm doing this quickly, right? Some of the clean up some of the parts of the body. And this would be my secondary sketch, I guess you can call it. Like I said, all I'm trying to do now is tighten up the picture a little bit. You guys would still be drawing this in pencil. And like I said, you draw light. You really need to practice drawing light until you know it's right. That would be my secondary sketch. I can go ahead and draw some eyes. I'm pretty sure you can tell who this is already. You know, it's a very well-known character. And the only other thing I want to tell you is I always have people that they want to go grab a compass and draw like these perfect circles. Listen, whenever you're drawing, it's always much easier to lightly sketch these out, and then you can kind of pick the line that you want. And that would be my secondary sketch. And then from here, I can kind of, you know, build it up into a more finished piece. So you guys, that's how you would work this picture. Like I said, it's an easy picture for today. Just take your time to sketch it out well, and then build it up a little at a time. Remember, practice drawing light until you know that the picture is right. Once you know that you have, okay, that's gonna be my finished line, then you can kind of start tightening it up a little bit and You know, if I would consider these blue lines my final lines, and I can come in here and really pay attention and try to draw these lines, you know, as straight as I could, because I know those are gonna be my final lines. As you can see, a lot of times, you know, I'm not exactly following my sketch lines, because these sketch lines just give me an idea of where things go. But I'm using them as a guideline to, you know, show me where I think they would look good. But that's how you build it up, right? So the blue lines would be considered my final lines, and then I would get rid of all my sketch lines once I'm done. Okay? And if you think my blue lines are, oh, they're super straight, listen, man, this just takes a bunch of practice. You guys will get better with time. And, you know, the difference from going from gray to your orange lines to your blue lines, you know, it's just you building it up and tightening it up and, you know, getting those shapes nice and tight. Okay? So you guys, 3 days, work on this today. In a little bit, we're gonna start Leonardo da Vinci notes. So work on this. Until then, I'll pass out some papers so that way we can get going in a minute.